Ladies and gentlemen, we are back again with another episode of Weekly Drip. Today, 9-0. It was a good game, but was that perfect for FSG? It's me, and I'm going to be joined by Leo, Abigail, and all the podcaster, the regular team, as we go through the moments of the week, lost property, baller of the week, and a little what-if section that I know the guys love so much. So thank you for tuning in. This is Weekly Drip. Let's run the intro. Oh, that intro always gets me up for the show. We're back. It's the Dream Team minus the podcaster. He's all right. He's not too bad. It's the Dream Team back in the building. Leo, how's your week been? Have you been lifted a little bit with this 9-0 win? Has it lifted your... Well, we'll not talk about the obvious though, Leo. But in terms of football results, has this lifted your spirits this week?
100%, and I think it's exactly what the entire squad needed, because I think tomorrow night going into Newcastle, like, all the fans will be lifted, and that's going to create a buzz at Anfield that I think is really needed, because before we were all really stressed about the whole situation.
We were so stressed. The podcaster, you're normally positive. Last week, you got a little bit frustrated, I'll say is the word. Frustrated at the club. This week, are you back on level ground, or are you still like, I'm away for this next game, and I'm going to see how the result goes?
A tougher challenge. I said I called Bournemouth the worst team in the league, so I expected a win. I didn't think it'd be 9-0, but I'm buzzing. But I want to see this game's a bit more. We were talking earlier, and Leo did say this team, they're missing a lot of players, so it's a different vibe. But again, we can only play who they put in front of us, in it. So yeah. I'm expecting another W, and get one step closer to having our players back. So let's see how that goes.
And last but not least, Mrs. Positive herself, always on the Liverpool train. Abs, finally you can shut everybody else up that has been saying, Liverpool, they're not going to be the team they should be. You can say to them this week, 9-0.
Exactly. I can't believe I even said maybe it will be just top 4 this season. Last week I literally kicked myself over it. I walked off the ground. I was like, Abigail, you let your beliefs go. I was like, why would they even say that? I take it all back now. Like, I'm positive again, especially if the midfield rumours are true. If we get a midfielder in, keep playing the way we did, we're sound. Honestly, I feel very positive. Feel positive all over again. It is.
Listen, I've said it there. People, we're sound. We're sorted. It's all right to get a midfielder in. We're good. We're good.
Exactly.
Let's say hello to some of our followers, because we've got so many jumping in now. We appreciate everybody. Big hello to Cammy in the building. Ellis, hello. Bogdan, shut up.
You are
Bogdan, I love you, really. You know I love you. Fernando, Madrid, Cave, Gahori, Latif, Azan, everybody's in the building today. Get involved in the comments, please, because we're going to have a great show. And yes, Bogdan, we know that you love every single one of us, but Bogdan loves Abigail most.
I used to get the
love in it. You know what I mean?
He was my guy.
And now Abigail comes along and he's just forgot about you. How do you feel about that all?
Do you know what? Now I know how you felt, because he was your guy, and then he was like, he's where Obots began, and I was like, yes, Bogdan's my guy. I would speak on Insta and whatnot, and then Abby came along, and it's always love heart. I be great, and I'm like, what about me?
Disgraceful.
Oh my
I'm
God.
thinking of getting rid of Abby. She's taking all the attention away from me. I don't know. We love it, really. We love having Abs on the show. But this is Weekly Drip, and we start the week as we always start every week. Everybody's favourite part of the show. It's Ash's What If moment. So, what if? Today's What If, I'm going with entrances. Entrances, right? Now, O's rubbing his eyes already because he's like, oh no, what is coming? Like, what's this guy on? But we've got AJ here with the ring entrance, fireworks. We've got LeBron James with the chalk, boof, the dust. You know what I mean? Like, iconic. You've got the I think it's the Jaguars. Leo will help me with that one maybe because he's like, he's got a bit of American knowledge. But we've got the Jaguars NFL team coming out onto the pitch. Could be the Bengals, but I think it's the Jaguars, the right colours. Entrances, though. Premier League teams. I'm sure, right? Listen, hear me out. I'm sure we used to have, like, cheerleaders. We used to have things going on before the game. Abs, you go to more games than most of us. Are cheerleaders even a thing anymore?
Don't think so. I mean, there's like the Mighty Red mascot that takes pictures with the kids, and that isn't there. There's him just bodding about, but that's it, really. There's not.
This is what I mean, Leo. Would you like to see a bit more pizzazz, a bit more Mo Salah coming on doing the moonwalk with fireworks blasting behind him? Like, give us a bit more entertainment value before the game. We might get excited a little bit more.
No, I mean, even in the Champions League final that I was able to go to in Paris, in that one, I forget what her name, but there was a performance. Yeah, she performed at halftime, and I actually was so embarrassed because everyone was booing. Everyone was booing.
Really?
And I think
as well.
and the whole stadium, and I just felt so bad for her because she had to keep going, but like you could almost not hear the performance because everyone was booing. And I know for a fact it's because like people don't want this in football. Like what they want is to see a great game of football, you know? And same with Mo Salah. I'd rather he score against Bournemouth than see a moonwalk. You know what I mean? I think that.
I mean, it would be iconic. Like, celebrations are iconic. Get some entrances in there. Ellis, it's light-hearted. Don't shoot me down. Like, why fix something that's not broken? I'm not saying I'm for it. It's just a suggestion. I like to bring it to the people, but someone who normally has this expansive brain is Older Podcaster. He likes to think ahead and see the bigger picture. Older Podcaster, fireworks, the Egyptian king carried out on a throne with his loyal subjects. This is something the league needs, right?
Yeah, it's very creative, but it's a no for me. Like Leo said, yeah. Imagine all that, yeah, for Salah, and then he just plays terrible, doesn't get a goal or an assist. He's going to be criticized, and it's just going to bring attention that we don't need. I just think about like Triple H coming out or something like that. Like it's just all extra. But Crystal Palace still have their cheerleaders. They still do cheerleaders.
See?
So that's quite cool.
I don't understand why cheerleaders have gone because it did give that value. When they used to create the tunnel for them to come out, they used to wave the flag. That's a nice little touch. And I know I'm going over the top saying fireworks and everything. I know that that's not going to happen. But something before the game would be nice. But I suppose the big thing about Liverpool, and Leo's going to get to experience it again tomorrow, is you'll never walk alone. Like there's nothing like it. So you don't need cheerleaders, do you, Leo, when you've got such a good anthem?
No. And even like I remember the Champions League final again, and a lot of it isn't intense fans because I was in the neutral zone and there were fireworks before. Like no one cares. Like I just want the match to start. I'm so nervous. Do you know what I mean? And I'm probably more so looking at my phone to see like if Thiago picked up an injury than at the fireworks. You know what I mean? I really could care less.
Like, please, who's the starting lineup? Who's on the bench? Who's not available? Fireworks, you're distracting me right now. Just go away.
Exactly.
Jedi, and I got it right today. I was like, last week I was going Jedi. I didn't know his name, but he's confirmed it's Jedi. Just won 9-0, and we're asking for more entertainment. Look,
yeah.
I apologize. Abs, I apologize because I know how positive you are. Don't come for me right now. But 9-0, that is all the entertainment we needed this week, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like if like a couple of teams last season did that. Like Wolves had like loads of fire coming up on like night games, and like remember DJs and stuff. Didn't Man City get a DJ for one game? Like that's when you want to create a fake atmosphere. Like at Anfield, we don't really need the fake atmosphere. Do you know what I mean? Like it might like not like taint You'll Never Walk Alone, but do you know what I mean? If there's like something going on, people cheerleading or something, and you're trying to like sing and hold your scarf up or whatever, do you know what I mean? We don't need it. I mean, teams like Wolves and City and that who got DJs in that last season, if they felt like that's what they needed on a night game, do you know what I mean? But we don't need that.
I was going to say, shots fired. Abs is feeling feisty today, I can tell. She's got that 9-0 win behind her now, so she's like, right, all guns blazing. I dare you to call my club today. But speaking of our club, we do every week on this show a memory box moment of the week. And let's be honest, it's not difficult this week because it was Liverpool's 9-0 thrashing of Bournemouth, much to Scotty Parker's dismay, because he has been let go today. But we'll get onto that a little bit later. 9-0. I was going to say good result, amazing result, just what we needed. What's your moment from that game, though? If you've got a moment to pick out, what would your moment be from that game?
Can I pick two?
Go on, then, be greedy.
I have to give it. I know it has to be free. I apologize. It has to be free. No, I can. The reason why I say it is I go least to highest here. So Fabio getting his goal, and being like one of the young players to get that. Javier getting his goal and actually being in tears and that celebration, I felt that. And then people writing off Bobby and Bobby just turning up. Like I know it's Bournemouth, but like he did his thing in it. And obviously me and the Jeremy James show had a little he said if Bobby scores, then he's gonna make Bobby his DP, and he was running for a little bit, but he did it. He did it eventually. So
he knew because there's too many of us calling him out because he said if Bobby scores, I'll change my display picture. So if you see the Jerry James show, you will see that Bobby Firmino is not in the display picture because
Fabio did let me down though. What? He didn't do his celebration. Everyone wanted his celebration. He didn't do his celebration.
Okay. Yeah, but he did the no look. Did you see that no look, by the way? That was the biggest no look I have ever seen in football history. But we've got people saying Elliott's goal, Trent's goal, Carvalho's goal, Harvey Elliott scoring the goal and dedicating it to his nan. Such great moments. Which was your moment, Leo?
Bobby's actually always been my favorite player, and I was just so worried that he wasn't the player that he used to be. Even me, who like always is behind him and thinks he should get a new contract, he just hasn't been up to it this season. So seeing him at his best, it's such a joy to behold because those 3 assists in the first half, I think it's everything Bobby is all about. And when he plays like that, I think we're unstoppable. So unstoppable. It's just he's such a joy to watch. There's no one like him in world football.
Iconic Bobby. This is exactly what we said. That for me was one of the best performances I've ever seen from Bobby Firmino. His 100th goal. It had to be a no-look goal. Abs, do you have a moment? Do you share a moment with us, or do you have something different?
I'd say it's probably Bobby, and then it's also Trent's goal as well, because everyone's been giving him stick for the last couple of weeks, and I felt like he needed that goal for his confidence. Do you know what I mean? Like, even the way he celebrated, like, I was, like, right in front of where he celebrated, and you should have seen me. I was like, I love you, well done. I was proper made up just because everyone was slating him. Everyone was like, don't compare him to Reece James ever again, and all that shit, and I was made up for him, but Bobby... especially because you know what the thing is, everyone's been saying Bobby's like finished and all that. I think I'm right in saying this. Everyone's saying Jesus is like the big main man for Arsenal now. He's got 2 goals and 3 assists. So's Bobby, and I'm sort of like, what? So Bobby's finished and Jesus is like. I understand that Bobby done it all in one game against Bournemouth, but I'm going to use it as a point because I love him. Basically,
I think what it is, it's because we've become used to seeing Jota, seeing Nunes come in, seeing Mane playing at centre forward. he's not had the game time just because so many players around him have been so high in their level. If Bobby Firmino was at Arsenal, he'd have played week in, week out, every single game, and he'd be the first name on Brazil's team sheet. But it's just, it so happens that he's in a great squad, so it is difficult for him. If we can play the system we played on Saturday, Bobby Firmino will have a great season in the number 9. But we might revert back to type once Nunes comes back in. Is Nunes realistically going to be on the bench? I can't see it happening. So it's a shame for Bobby, but as long as he keeps performing like this when he gets the chance, unbelievable. But what I'll say is, do you think this 9-0 kind of plays into FSG's hands? It's the name of the show, 9-0, perfect for FSG, because they could arguably go now, well, you've just beat somebody 9-0. It's a record in the Premier League. You don't need anyone. You've got so many injuries, but you've still gone out and done this result.
You see, I think it came, I can't say it came at the worst time because, like, with everything Klopp said and, you know, the struggles and the fans being back and forth with each other, a 9-0 kind of just was a big distraction. We still need a midfielder, but I feel like now they're starting to say, like, you know, some of our players are coming back. They're back in training. I couldn't see us signing a midfielder anyway. I feel like what they've kind of done is eluded us with, like, oh, guys, you are right, but it's too late now, basically. So that's how I feel. So it's just one of those things, isn't it? We'll push on. Thiago will come back eventually, and the rest of them will come back eventually, and then we'll get back into being the greatest team that we are.
Leo, do we still need a midfielder? I think that's the question. Would you still want FSG to go out and get a midfielder, or are we all jumping the gun and asking for something that, in hindsight, maybe we don't need with people coming back into the squad now?
Yeah, so Curtis Jones was back in training yesterday, but no, I do think we need a midfielder, given that Ox and Keita, I think, will 100% leave by next summer. They're both out of contract. I don't see us giving a new contract to Keita. He doesn't seem happy. And so that means even if we have a player that we really want, like Jude's been mentioned, obviously, then even if we do sign Jude, we still need someone else. We still need someone else for that depth, you know. Milner next year, who knows if he's going to stay as well. You know, there's talks that he's not going to be playing anymore. So definitely, I'm like, we need to sign someone, and someone, you know, that's versatile exists out there. If we just pay the right price, they'll come. Like, I hate the excuse that it's too late, because I know the scouting department has other options. They can't only have Jude in there. They can't only have number one option and everything else is impossible, because we're going to need it next year anyways. So why not just get it in now, you know?
I tell you what, Leo, we've woken the sleeping beast. We need 2, says G. We've woken him up. He's back. Abby, this is your time now, Abs, to direct this. At G, keeping it G.
Oh, God.
Brought some negativity upon your life last week. So, Abs, I'm giving you the stage to just say to G what you'd like to say today after the 9-0 victory.
Do you know what? I actually still think that we do need a midfielder. Like, I've thought about it, and I think that we do. I don't know if we need 2 right now. Like, I think if we get 1 in, we can wait till next summer for Bellingham, like I keep saying. But at the same time, I'm sort of just like, it'd be so embarrassing now. Like, not dead embarrassing, but if Klopp comes out and says, like, oh, you're right, I was wrong, we do need a midfielder. And then Virgil says, like, yeah, we need loads of midfielders, and then we don't sign anyone. It looks a bit, do you know what I mean? It's a bit daft on FSG's part for, like, not listening to that. And it's sort of embarrassing for us. Like, we've hinted at it publicly. And I felt like Klopp wouldn't hint at something publicly unless he, like, thought something was about to go over the line. But then, like, it's been radio silence on Twitter for, like, the last couple of days. And now I'm a bit, like, you know, like, getting a bit nervous on it that, like, maybe they, like, will embarrass Klopp in that way. Because I would find it embarrassing on him if he's come out and said, yeah, we do. Like, there's, like, we're actively looking for it, and then we don't. Do you know what I mean?
100%. And Abs, we've got some breaking news here, because this is a once-in-a-lifetime occasion. Let me just do this. Breaking news. G, keeping it G, agrees with Abs.
Agrees with me? Oh, my God.
This is unbelievable news. Oh, the podcaster, did you think this day would ever come that we saw G finally finding some level ground with somebody and agreeing?
Especially me.
Of course, G. You see, the thing about G is, he has valid points when he does speak, and he's just frustrated. But yeah, we always agree on stuff eventually. It's just G likes to go the difficult route.
He likes to go round the city a little bit first.
Yeah, I mean,
meet at the same cafe in the end, share a coffee, and give each other a cheers. Mark A saying though, the clock is ticking. It so is. Like 2 days left. Realistically, can we see anybody coming in? Virgil van Dijk has come out this week and said we need midfielders. Let's be real, says Azan. FSG won't sign anyone. Leo, if you had to give it yes or no, and I'll come round to all three of you, do you think Liverpool are going to bring anybody in at all?
Just first off, on what Virgil say, I agree, and we need depth, especially in the cup competition. They're going to be able to play all the time, and then they can also play in the forward positions. We know Fabio Carvalho can play on the left. We know Harvey can play right wing, which we have no backup for. So they also they offer attacking threat if we need depth in those areas. And then, so I think there's no excuse not to get one. And I have a feeling that it could be a Fabinho type thing where they're really working to keep it private behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Because clubs will obviously ask for more money if it's all public and things like that. So I have a feeling that something's going to come out and we have no idea. It's not going to be Jude, but...
Yeah, it's not going to be Jude. It's not going to be
for sure.
No.
It's not going to be anyone over 40 million pounds.
But it could be someone of a decent standard. Abs, do you think yes or no, or do you agree with Azan? We could see Keita's contract extended instead.
No.
God damn.
No. Do you know what? I think that we will sign someone. I honestly think that Klopp won't talk about transfers right until he thinks like something is possible. Like, I don't think he'd have said anything if he didn't think something was possible. I don't even think Klopp's the type of person with FSG to have the relationship to indirectly make a dig at them in the middle of a press conference to say you were right, I was wrong. Do you know what I mean? Even for Virgil to say it, it's obvious that they've been thinking about it or talking about it. I know there's the thing of they've deleted the pinned tweet, so they're waiting for a new pinned tweet. Do you know what I mean? But then at the same time, have we? I don't even think we've released the third kit yet, and with the Champions League games coming up, maybe it's just to pin the third kit. But I hope it's to pin a sign, and that's what I'm hoping.
I thought maybe when I heard this, I thought, is it the third kit? But then they normally do it just before we have to wear it in a game. We're not going to have to wear it this next game.
No.
We play after that. We play
Everton.
We're not going to have to use it then. So it could be something special. It could be.
I hope so.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, I read somewhere that footy. No, what are they? There's a place that's really reliable for leaks and things, and they said it was going to be released on September 6th. That's what I saw at least.
September 6th. So we've got a week yet to wait for that.
So I can hold on to the pin tweet then. Hold
on to the pin. Everybody, hold on to that pin tweet because something big could be happening. But Marquez says, desperation costs money. Are Liverpool, whoever they buy as a midfielder, going to have to pay over the odds? Because everybody knows now we are openly looking for a midfielder.
I think you'd think so, but Liverpool give me, I'd rather walk away and stick to what I have than pay over the odds. So they won't pay silly money. It might be it might be silly if you think about it. Not silly, where it's say it's a 32 million now and could rise to 50 or odd because if you win the Champions League and that type of stuff. But then again, I always say if we win the Champions League, then that's the right signing, right? So, and it makes sense.
It does make sense. If is the big word, though. If. Abs, I saw you roll your eyes then at this comment. Liverpool's media team on Instagram have got to be trolling because they posted Dominic Corness's goal in training, and he's a midfielder. Look, Klopp's been watching the under-21s. Maybe that's why he came out in midweek and was like, okay, I made a mistake. Now I need a midfielder because ain't nobody coming up just about now. But we will see. It's a good time at the minute. We've just won 9-0. Let's keep that momentum going. Let's hope a signing comes in we're all on cloud 9, literally number 9, cloud 9 at that moment. So let's see, fingers crossed, what a tweet up today. But let's move on to the next part of the show, and that is lost property. So this is the moment where we choose someone from the league, someone from our team, whoever it might be, who's really underachieving and not fulfilling their potential right now. I'm glad it's not a Liverpool player this week. Everybody, you're safe. You're not in the lost property bin this week. Jurgen Klopp will pick you back out from last week. You're back safe and sound in the memory box. But this week I've gone with these 3 guys because Scott Parker has just got sacked as Bournemouth manager. Yes, off the back of a few big defeats. But aside from Aston Villa, these other teams are below Bournemouth in the league, Everton and Leicester, with higher profile managers. Stevie G at the minute is, I think, he's 1 point above Bournemouth, underperforming after spending so much money. Do questions, Leo, need to be asked of those 3 managers? And is Scott Parker kind of a scapegoat because he's not got the credentials of these 3?
Yes, and I particularly feel for Stevie because, for example, Lampard, I feel like has an excuse. Like his squad is terrible right now, and they just saw Richarlison, who literally kept them up the league last season. So I don't know how they're gonna stay up this season. And then Brendan Rodgers, let's go for Fofana, so many injuries, so you can understand the situation. But then Stevie, like there's just no excuse. You know what I mean? Like he's had preseason. Last season he was saying I need a full preseason. He's brought in tons of new signings that he wanted. He's made big decisions like taking the captaincy off Tyrone Mings, and then you're like, oh, like even us Liverpool fans who love him more than anything, we can't defend him right now, and that hurts because I wanted him to succeed so badly. Like, and you know how much it means to him because he's that type of guy who is 100% invested, and every result probably destroys him right now.
So true. Stevie in trouble, says Ellis. Mark A, Stevie is such a mediocre manager. They've got points. Bogdan, this isn't a nice way of speaking about That's not nice, is it, Oh, he's on about Frank. Sorry. He's on about Frank Lampard. Silly me. I apologise for that. He's on about this guy in the middle. The podcaster. Is Stevie G in a bit of trouble? Could there be hot water for Stevie G? And if he gets sacked as Villa manager, is he ever going to get that Liverpool job that he wants?
He's definitely in hot water right now. I think Lamps will. I thought Lampard should go before him, but I feel like Everton are more loyal because they know they're in a rut more than Aston Villa. Still feel like they could still push on. I think Everton kind of like we're in a rut. We've got Lampard. We'll stick and see where it goes, and it may stick or twist by Jan. Liverpool, I'm not the biggest fan other than back in the days when like legends or players come back and manage their clubs that they were legends for. I'm not the biggest. You saw it with King Kenny when he came back. He took us out of a rut, but he weren't good enough to do the long distance with us.
I think Kenny knew that at the time. I think Kenny knew that, and he came in just to do the club a favour. It was like, do you know what? I'll look after them for a little bit. I'm not going to be long-term manager. I'll see what I can do. He knew he wasn't up to standard. That's why he still keeps this legendary status, because
he should have just done take the rest of the season and then found another manager. But when he got that following, it was like, for me, it was almost damaging like credibility. Like it was just the signings and stuff. But I mean, hey, I'm not a big fan, so let's go find somebody else. It's going to be hard to replace Klopp anyway, and then to try and do it with someone who I don't think is that big of a, like, he's not that great of a manager, innit? Like,
so Scott Parker becomes the 6th manager to be sacked immediately after playing Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. This is the effect we have on people. Big defeats to Liverpool, they get you sacked. It tips people over the edge, but Anfield Analytics bringing that stat. Please get over to Anfield Analytics. They bring all the stats to Kloppzone. Amazing page, real in depth. Tonight we've got a show with Jack from Anfield Analytics, statistically speaking, preview of the Newcastle game. Make sure you check that one out. But Abs, did you expect this from Aston Villa. Did you expect them to start so badly? I thought there were signs last season that Gerrard is being overrated because his performances last season weren't amazing either. Do you want him to ever become Liverpool manager, or are you worried it might taint his legacy at the club?
Do you know what the thing is? I was always like, oh yeah, and then one day Gerrard will be our manager. Like, it was always there, do you know what I mean? It was like, yeah, he'll definitely be our manager one day. But now I'm sort of like, right now, it's going to be looking like 10 years of experience that he needs at this point, do you know what I mean? And then who will we have by then? What situation will we be in by then? Klopp will probably be gone by then. I don't know, but I just know it'll probably break his heart if he never become Liverpool manager. I feel like that was his goal from the start. Do you know what I mean? That was always what he wanted. He did well at Rangers. I don't know where he could go now. I'm talking about it as if he's been sacked, but if things don't change literally immediately.
Tomorrow,
he's done.
And he's playing City and Arsenal this week. Imagine both of those teams this week.
You're in hot water. You're playing City and
Arsenal. You know what the thing is though? Parker's been sacked and he had Villa. Was it Arsenal, City, and then us?
Yeah, Liverpool.
you can't sack him after playing Arsenal, City, and Liverpool. Do you know what I mean?
I'm sorry, but
I just don't think that was fair.
No Championship manager should get sacked after 4 games. After bringing the club up to the Premier League, you should never get sacked after 4 games.
Especially given they made they barely made any signings.
It sounds like it was about his comments anyway, doesn't it?
Yeah,
did you see the quote from the owners or something saying about?
But it's nice. I think sometimes it's nice because you need a manager to be a voice for the fans as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes the fans need to know what's going on. I understand you're an employee of the club, so you can't openly really come out and be that critical. But at the same time, you've just been beaten 9-0. The fans are going to direct so much hate towards the manager. He's got to go, do you know what? It's not all my fault. Look elsewhere as well. And I appreciate what he did, but at the end of the day, it's got him sacked. Leo, do you think that this comment, Leicester won't let Rodgers go, I think that's very true. Do you think that's because the ownership know they've got no money, they can't invest in the squad, they have to sell players to gain that capital again? So, if anything, it could be Rodgers that walks out the door rather than Leicester sacking Rodgers.
No, I definitely agree with that, and also like the Fofana thing is tough because like when when he's one of the best players that you have, and there's all this speculation, and he's not in the squad, this and that. That's a difficult situation to deal with on top of everything else. So I think they'll still give him a few months, given what he's achieved with the club. They won the FA Cup. Like, he's done unbelievable things for them, and he's a legend of the club, I'm pretty sure, So I definitely think they're going to consider it more. I really do think, though, Stevie could be sacked this week. I really see it coming. Like, the performances just haven't been there. They had lost, but there was some positivity. Like, Coutinho's not playing well anymore. Like, he doesn't seem to be getting the best out of the players, and that's when things are not looking good.
Villa aren't really a club. Villa aren't a club all that stay that loyal to the managers. Look what they did to last manager. Like, off the back of a great season, a few bad results at the beginning of the season, it was bye-bye. We're bringing Stevie Gerrard in. So, do you think Gerrard still packs a punch because of his name, though? It's harder to let the likes of a Steven Gerrard go, who took 3 seasons at Rangers to do anything. Let's not forget. So, maybe they're giving him that time to see what he can build. But right now, I'm not really seeing any signs of improvement.
It's weird, isn't it? Like, I do think when you're a big name, but then who's Gerrard to the Aston Villa fan, to the Aston Villa owners? Like, he's not a club legend for them. It's like, I feel like they'll give him a little bit more longer because I think they'll give him a bit longer, especially with Parker going. I think they'll be like, okay, maybe, we're moving a little bit too hasty right now if we do get rid of him. So I think they'll give him until January, maybe, see where they're at, and then do a January decision, make a decision around January. And if he could not pull them out the rut, then he's gone. But remember, Manchester's fired though. Like, he can go somewhere else and have a great season, like, you know what I mean, and then start again. So you quickly forget, innit? You quickly forget. So because they spin us.
Ish, you can't do this. Ish, you cannot do this. You can't put bum in the same sentence as Stevie G. We can't do it. We just can't. It just can't happen. But I understand what you're saying. Abs, Who's it going to be? Gerrard, Lampard, Rodgers? Who do you think is going to be the next manager out the door?
It just feels like Gerrard for me. I don't know. It just feels like Gerrard for me. I don't know. With Lampard, I don't know. The Blues seem to be like giving him time. Do you know what I mean? They all, even the fan base, are sort of giving him a bit of leeway. Do you know what I mean? And it's not really like them. They're like pitchforks out after a week. They're sort of giving him a bit of time. And I think as long as the Everton fans aren't putting pressure on the owners about him, then they'll keep him for as long as they can. Do you know what I mean? I think they will anyway. I mean, I don't know how long of a contract he signed either, money-wise, with the new stadium and all that. I just think Gerrard probably first. I can't see Leicester letting Rodgers go either. I'll be gutted if that happens to Gerrard, though, because he's going to have to... I don't even know what he'll do. He'll have to go to, like, a championship side for a bit.
So hard,
because he can't go back up to Scotland. Do you know what I mean? So it's a bit like... I will be gutted for him if it does happen, but it feels like it might. I mean, I'm holding on to hope that he can turn it round, but I don't know. It's probably Gerrard will go, but I don't like the word like bum or like trash in the same sentence as Gerrard. It hurts me feelings too much. So do you know what I mean? I'm holding out hope a bit, but
I think we all hold out hope for him. We all want him to do well, but in a sense, I kind of know in the back of my head he's never going to be good enough to be Liverpool manager. In the back of my head, like I understand that he's motivated. He gives everything to the cause. That's what worries me more. I know how Gerrard will operate. He'll be obsessed with managing right now. He'll go home. He'll do everything he can. He'll be researching. He'll be putting everything into this. And to not be able to turn anything around when you're focusing solely on this and you're dedicated to it, that shows me there's something missing in terms of being a manager. And that's what worries me a little bit more. And this stat, Leo, says it all.
Yeah.
Gerrard, 2 wins in his last 12. This is more than a great player. Doesn't mean great manager, does it?
No, and what worries me most is, Abs, you were saying that you'd see another 10 years before he can be Liverpool manager, and I worry that when we're in the mud, like when things are bad after Klopp leaves, that the owners are going to feel the pressure and they're going to want, someone to lift the place, give the place some energy. And I could totally see us bring him in as a manager just because it's a dire situation. And I don't mean to be, depressing or anything, but I could see that happening for Stevie. We know how excited we would feel if he came in, and it feels like that type of situation. Kind of like with Lampard when they were in, I think Jedi was saying it, like when he went to Chelsea, they had that ban, the transfer ban, and they kind of needed someone who was where the fans were never going to turn their backs on, and somebody to kind of just keep things alive, and that's what he did well. I thought Lampard did well at Chelsea given the situation, and that's what the owners were expecting,
That's what would have been perfect for Gerrard, wouldn't it? Going into a team with no expectations and getting them to where they needed to be, learning a little bit more about the craft.
That was Rangers.
Yeah, Rangers was that team. He jumped into this job at Aston Villa too soon, because if you looked at what they did to the last manager, it was like, if I don't do anything here, it could be very detrimental to the rest of my career. Whereas if he would have waited maybe even, I don't know, took the Leeds job or something like that, where there's not as much pressure, it's a similar fan base to Liverpool, that would have probably been a better move for Gerrard. But again, like Ish is saying, taking bias out of it, he's shown nothing to say he's a good manager, so it kills us all, but that's just the truth, and G's agreeing. I'm not trying to see him here at Liverpool. Bring me back Hansi Flick or Arteta. Oh,
we want his team talks. We want his team talk.
Arteta into Liverpool. Just a minute, G, just to confirm, you're not Klopp out, right? Just to confirm for everybody here, you're not Klopp out. But you're saying when Klopp leaves, maybe an Arteta or a Hansi Flick. We just want to clear that up. I don't want anybody to start jumping on your back, G. A move abroad would have been good for Gerrard. Completely agree. But that's our lost property of this week. It's hurt. We don't want to call Stevie G out, but that's just how it is. Yes, what, G? Yes, Klopp in. Oh,
Yeah, Kloppin.
He's clapping,
you
right?
mean
Woo!
Yeah.
Gee,
I
you're
mean,
making me panic a
doesn't
little
know.
bit here, you madmen / woman. Okay, we were a little bit mad. We apologise. That's our lost property moment of this week. Before we move on to our trophy cabinet, our ballers of the week, we just want to say some great news, and you've probably seen it scrolling across the bottom of the screen all show that we've seen Matip Jones-Ramsey back in training with the club. Such great news. We're seeing players come back. I was starting to wonder where Ramsey was, I'm not going to lie, when Scott Parker sacked as Bournemouth manager. Leo, some nice positive news for once. Out of those, getting Joel Matip back, that's a big one, isn't it? Because we look a bit vulnerable at the back, and Matip is one of those players that are going to secure us up a little bit.
Yeah. And even Curtis Jones will be positive because we see Fabio and Harvey battling for that spot, and having another young, talented player in a similar kind of position will mean they'll all fight to death to get that spot in the team, and that can only help their development,
Yeah, completely agree. Abs, have you missed Big Joel? I have missed Joel so much. Nothing against Joe Gomez, because I personally think Virgil van Dijk's been playing worse than Gomez. But Joel Matip, it just shows how important he actually is to Liverpool's back four.
Yeah, I can't wait to see him back. I want to see him do one of his little runs all the way up. That's what I'm waiting for. Do you know what? Like I always put him in my starting lineup, and I love Gomez. Do you know what I mean? Injuries have battered him, haven't they? But he is younger as well. Like I don't think Gomez will never get his chance in that. But I always pick Matip first now. Do you know what I mean? And that's all over Twitter now. People are like, no, keep Gomez in, keep going. But I'm like, no. Do you know what I mean? For stability, I'd put Matip in just because. Do you know what I mean? Virgil, he's not at the best time at the minute, has he? Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be critical because I'm not critical, but
Virgil plays so many games, or maybe literally Virgil just needs a rest. He's the one that plays week in, week out, and that's going to take its toll on someone, especially someone that in the back of the mind they're thinking, right, I don't want to fatigue when there's a World Cup coming up. I've never been in a major tournament for my country, so all that plays into the decision making. But I saw your face when I was mentioning Joe Gomez. Did you not agree with my comments on Joel Matip?
I'm happy to see him back because we need to rotate. I just wish Matip was a bit more of a leader. Like we could afford to rest Van Dijk.
Yeah.
But without Van Dijk, that's it. We can't afford to rest him. And even though he's not even playing the best, probably the worst out of the pairing, and you can't rest him.
Who we resting? Ish says. And then he comes out with this. Oh, yes. Virgil Farage. You know what? I would do a service for Liverpool. I'd put my life on the line. But me putting my life on the line is worse than Ragnar Klavan or Kyriakos. I'm not going to do anything. So, Ish, I appreciate it, Ish. But it's not happening. Virgil stays in there. Oh, you shouldn't be shaking your head. You should be going, no, back yourself. I've got confidence in you.
Hell no. For my club. Hell no.
Not a chance. So let's move on to the last part of the show, and it's the trophy cabinet. That player that's been baller of the week. I don't know if you three agree, but I had to go with this one player. Roberto Firmino. Si, senor. Pass the ball to Bobby and he will score. Leo, all this criticism that Bobby's come under, it's so nice, isn't it, that he finally gets a little bit more acknowledgement and people can shut up for a week, basically.
Yeah. No, like I said, he's like no other footballer on the planet, and seeing him do his thing is just the best. The only thing that worried me when I watched it is I was just thinking about Darwin in the back of my mind. And I'm like, if Klopp sees how good we play as a team when he's doing his thing, is he going to totally change the system for someone like Darwin? Given that he knows this is tried and trusted, this works, then is he going to be willing to take any risks this season and let Darwin, get the best out of Darwin? Because it seemed like when he was in the team, I know it's only been a few matches, but we can see how frustrated he is because he's making those runs. He's trying something, but he's not Bobby. No one is Bobby. So that's the only thing.
We've got this here from Chris Brack. After 2 contract extensions, Klopp has to be happy to work within the transfer policy. If we don't add anyone, there's no point moaning about it. It's up to Klopp to make it work. Is this supporting what Leo's just said? Maybe Liverpool as a team are better with Bobby Firmino in the number 9. Maybe Liverpool will have more success this season not playing Núñez as that figure. Because as Ishi's saying here, the nicest thing was to see Bobby in a poacher's position, picking up those loose balls, getting on the end of deflections. It was nice because we played a system where Elliot could pick up the space that Bobby normally does, and Bobby had a chance to be a number 9 for once. Was that refreshing for you?
It was definitely refreshing, but I think it's a bit early to say like Bobby. I can't see Bobby playing like that game in, game out, and that's why you have someone like Núñez. I think when Núñez comes back, and Bobby's still playing the way he does, it's Núñez to fight for his space back. But there's a lot of games to play, so we're gonna need to rotate. Bobby's not playing every single day, but it was nice to see that. And if you remember the game before that, he was practically playing as a CDM half the game. So to see him like kind of say, okay, I'm not running nowhere past the halfway line kind of thing, that was great to see. And when Bobby's up there, he holds up the ball well. But let's not forget, Núñez in that Palace game had chances. And if he would have put them away, we wouldn't be having this real conversation. Núñez should have had 2 minimum.
Yeah, that's true.
And he was taking the defenders away. So if he had someone like Thiago in there, it would have been a different type of game in it. So like Núñez weren't playing bad. He was doing his thing. So but yeah, man, it's really good to see Bobby. Like we're all proper, like we're Liverpool fans, isn't it? Like we love Bobby, and it's really good to see that of Bobby, knowing that the week before we was kind of like, oh my god, why is he so deep? This and that. So
I think that is the nice thing, seeing one of our fan favourites coming back and looking sharp. We've got here that Bobby's on his last legs. It didn't show that last game, but we understand what you're saying, that he does need to be rested and used wisely here and there, which is good that we've got Núñez. But it's nice to know now we can rely on Bobby. If someone's out, we can still rely on Bobby to do what he does. And yes, Mark, it's a small sample size. Completely agree. Like, it's one game we're focusing on.
Yeah.
Opposed to however many others before it where he didn't score. Like, when was it? November 2020, the last time he scored at Anfield? That is, as a striker, that is a little bit worrying. But Abs, if you had the choice now, when Núñez is back fit, so for the next game, for the Everton game, he'll be available. Do you start Núñez over Bobby, or are you making a point of you can't put someone and be like that and play Bobby over Núñez?
I feel like you've got to get past what Núñez did now, though. Like, you can't hold it against him for ages. Do you know what I mean? Like, he hasn't even Klopp said, like, yeah, we've spoke to him, it's done now. Do you know what I mean? Once his suspension's over, don't be prolonging anything like that. Do you know what I mean? That'd just probably make him feel uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean? But I'm one of those people who give Bobby another contract, even if it's like a minimal one, like smaller, just offer it to him. Like, I would. I know a lot of people wouldn't. But I don't know, there's something about Bobby that he brings to the team, but Núñez will definitely be playing more, definitely. Bobby doesn't have the legs to carry on now the way every game, do you know what I mean? He doesn't. Like, Núñez is here for a reason, plus I don't think FSG spend that amount of money on someone that, like, they don't intend to use, do you know what I mean? Like, I love Bobby, but I'd give him, like, a really smaller, like, a reduced contract, but I would keep him to have him there, do you know what I mean? I would. I mean, I know a lot of people wouldn't. Yeah.
Do you think, Leo, that Bobby not scoring at home for so long, we know he's been injured a little bit, but do you think that's what goes against him? As a striker, you kind of forget what he offers to the team because he doesn't score those goals. We forget that the goals come from Mo Salah. They're coming from Diaz now. They come from Mane when Mane was in the team and Jota. Bobby's never been a clinical goal scorer, so we judge him falsely, I feel, on the amount of goals scored.
Me too. No, I don't think it's embarrassing because he does so much more than just scoring goals. But the thing you were saying about Núñez coming back for Everton, my only concern if that's a derby, Goodison is really like this, the atmosphere. And then if I'm Lampard, I'm telling everyone to just kick him, push him, and like say things in his ear because he's vulnerable, and so that would be my concern, So
yeah. I've put this comment up for people. I want to see what people say in the comments. Would you offer Bobby a contract extension? Because we know Abby's just said she would. She's got her FSG hat on. She's got a Jurgen Klopp hat on. G said, Abby, we were doing so well until you just said this.
Were we though? I mean,
were we really? We agreed on one thing out of a million. Would you offer Bobby a contract extension, or do you think let Bobby go out on a high this season? If he plays well like he has been, let him leave on a high, because he is slowly going to start digressing now across the years.
I don't know if it's because I love Bobby or not. I can't separate the two, but I would offer him a year extension with just lesser wages, knowing his role,
exactly.
Stuff like that. But that's the only, it'd have to be under those terms, innit? He's not earning as much and he wants to stay in because he can still play a part. And you can still bring in somebody else who can still play a part, but it just depends on what he wants. He might say, you know what, I want to do another season, playing as a number 9 and number 10 out wide, or as one of the front two and another team. Might want to go back to Brazil. I don't know.
Maybe. That's a good point. He might want a different challenge. Just like Sadio Mane said, I want a different challenge. Leo, do you think it's easy to say don't extend it? It's easy to say that's Bobby's last year, but realistically, look what we've done this year. We've let Minamino go. We've let Origi go. Yeah. We're starting to see the effects of that a little bit in not having any depth on the bench. If we let Bobby go for free, our FSG going to replace him because we're not getting money in for him. Yeah, and we know FSG only like to spend when we get some money in so that we can use that money.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And also with Ox and Keita leaving, like you say, that also means they're going to be leaving with no fee coming in. So that means we're going to have to find a way to replace them, find a way to replace Milner. So I don't see us having the funds to go and buy. That's gonna excite everyone. I don't see us having the funds to go out and buy a forward. So I agree with that. Like if he's willing to take a pay cut and be a squad rotational player, because right now he's on 180,000 pounds a week, I think. If he's willing to take a cut to 100,000 a week, then I think it would work, So it all depends on what kind of role he's willing to accept.
Yeah, and I think Bobby loves it at the club as well. Like, you look at his relationship with the likes of Fabinho and Alisson, and he's got a family. His family life is in Liverpool. He's earned so much money over his career, a pay cut to stay for an extra few years, potentially pick up more trophies and still have a good role within the squad. I think Bobby understands that now. He's not going to be the main number 9. That's what's good about Firmino, because he's ready to go when we ask of him. G again is saying, Cave said we need more depth. And then G said, I wouldn't really care, to be honest. I don't really want to see him start unless we have a mad injury crisis. And even then, we have an academy. G is in top. I feel like, G, you've had no sleep last night. I feel like you need to go back to bed, rouse yourself back up and think about that, what you've just said. Because Bobby is head and shoulders above anybody from our academy right now. I've got to say that. Head and shoulders. Yes,
if Bobby left, would you guys sign a striker or a winger?
What's that?
If Bobby left, would you guys sign a striker or a winger?
That's a great point, actually, because we've got Jota, who can play winger, can play striker. Nunez is going to be the main guy. So who are you going to bring in that wants to play second fiddle? I don't know, actually. Do you know what? This is
no. Everyone has answered.
I like this because someone young, exciting, bags of potential, winger, can play across the front. Maybe it's just the Liverpool blueprint that you get somebody that's versatile and can play any of those front three.
With what funds, though? That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. With what money? Because if Bobby goes on a free, we're not going to have any money. And everyone's thinking Jude Bellingham's going to happen next summer. So if we get Jude in, Bobby goes, we're left with 2 strikers because we're definite. If we get Bellingham, 100% we aren't signing anybody else in that transfer window. So it's a tough one, but I think the consensus is, I don't know with us. I think Bobby stays. With the followers, it seems like maybe they want to see something different. But we'll see when it comes to the end of the season. We will see when it comes to the end of the season. Mark A saying, it ain't easy. Exactly. And imagine, Abs, being FSG. As much criticism as we give them, they are running a business. They do need to back Liverpool. But it must be difficult to identify what players to release funds, all this that goes behind running a football club. It's a lot more complicated than just go out and buy anybody, isn't it?
I understand that. I feel like I'm swaying. I'm not swaying towards like an FSG out. I'm more swaying towards like a like. I'm not swaying that way. I promise you, I'm not. I'm swaying more towards the like. Please give us money. Like I'm sort of like swaying that way. I'm not saying like get out. I'm sort of just saying like, please, will you just back Klopp? But do you know what? I reckon my biggest problem is like I'll sit with loads of Evertonians and they'll be like, "What are you moaning about, Abigail?" Like, shut up. Do you know what I mean? You've got nothing to moan about. Whereas like if you look at like what we're aiming for, not that it's not a business, but it's like our club first. Do you know what I mean? So I'm hoping in the next, like, hopefully we get a midfielder, and then next summer maybe we have like a bit of a not an overhaul, but you know, a few more, spend a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? Like he puts his thumb up at someone who says like, "Hi, yeah, we need a midfielder," and he goes like that. Did you see that at John Henry? And I just think like, yeah, but you haven't yet, so you best start because you've just told.
Don't you put your thumb up to me?
Yeah, don't you?
Unless you go and sign someone.
He's probably thought he went like, we need Milner, and he's gone, yeah, you can keep Milner.
Oh, gosh.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, James Milner. Naby Keita contract extension. Look forward to it. He's got. Do you know what? We've not seen Naby for like over a week. That pinned tweet, as much as we're worried, it could literally be Naby Keita stays till 2026.
No.
With a Liverpool shirt with 2026 on it.
No. Don't even say that.
Imagine the meltdown.
Oh my. I will literally. Abs would have a meltdown. So never mind us. Never mind G. Abs would have an absolute meltdown. But it's been unbelievable. We've got Remy in here. And Remy yesterday, by the way, everyone, came at me about running the club as a business and different things. We want to do a show on this. Business versus football and how you come up with that perfect marriage and balance. So we're going to do a show on this soon. We're not going to get into this again today, Remy. I know you're coming for me, but we're going to get into this very soon. But another great show. She's signing us out by saying we need Milner. Abs, don't kill me. Don't kill me. Leo, all the podcasts that Abs, it's been amazing. Leo, we know we've not had some great news this week because obviously Liverpool goals did get suspended for a little while. But tell the people when you're back because it's good news. We want some positivity.
Yeah. No, I should be back tomorrow, but I'm not making any promises because Instagram is Instagram.
Yes, Instagram is Instagram. This is why we are now on YouTube, people, because Instagram is Instagram. But all stay positive. You can follow Leo's goals for any updates on that. So please make sure you're following Leo because
thank you.
Such a crap time. Like, I know how it feels. Let's support him as much as we can. Oh, the podcaster, it's been a pleasure. Any words of wisdom, any encouragement for the Newcastle game tomorrow?
Yeah, it's a W. Like, we shouldn't enjoy it, enjoy the moment, and make sure you guys are following Culture Club.
You love Culture Club, don't you? He loves Culture
Club.
I'm
excited.
We have got something big coming up on Culture Club this week on Friday, 2 p.m. Right?
Yeah.
Friday,
if that's okay with El. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no reply.
Yes. Who said this? Who's dropped this news? Was I asleep again when this news dropped? 2 p.m. this Friday, we've got an amazing special guest on the show. So please stay tuned into that. But Abs, I'm going to let you finish us off because you're the positive one. Have a word to all these Reds that have been doubting us a little bit. Put a bit of positivity in people's lives.
Just be positive. That's all I'll say is just be positive. Just enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? Go in thinking that we're going to win. Like, it's been quite a few games now where I've gone in feeling so, like, apprehensive that we might not get the points. But just go into this one thinking that we're going to do it. Especially with Newcastle's injuries at the minute. Like, I mean, I know, did you want us to play full strength or were you not bothered? I think someone said before that they'd rather we played. Yeah, they are, Leo. But yeah, just be positive, just enjoy it. We will get the 3 points tomorrow. Like, I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna go for a 9-0 or anything because I said 4-0 against United and that made the show myself. I was full on deleting the story that I put on. I was like, no, I didn't say it. No, but yeah. I think we'll get the win. We'll get a convincing win, and that's all we need really. 2 home wins, and we'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll have a midfielder by the end of the week, I promise.
Ooh, big statements coming from Abby. She's got inside information.
I'm not a journalist, don't think.
Midfielder, breaking news. Put it on your feeds. Tweet it out now. Tag at Abigail Rudkin in this midfielder.
I don't have any connections
at Liverpool. But it's been a pleasure. We've had everything today. We've had entrances. Mo Salah coming out on a throne, wearing his crown, being fed grapes by his loyal subjects such as Diaz and Bobby Firmino. We've had all the podcaster questioning a few things that have been said. We've had Leo, we've had Abigail, we've had sacked managers, people returning to training, and much, much more. But we end the show with the positive news that 9-0. Let's keep the train rolling. Let's keep the wheels on this Liverpool buzz. But until next time, this has been Weekly Drip. My 3 compatriots, it's been a pleasure as always. We've kept it to an hour today, which is amazing. Yeah. I'm going to sign out on that one. As always, you'll never walk alone. Follow us. You're amazing. Peace.